just need one. And I just want them to win a damn Super Bowl before I die. Welcome to Before I Die with Jessi and Myles on Purple Daily and Score North.
Just one. All I want for Christmas before I die is a Lombardi underneath my tree. Well, actually, it would come after the Christmas, but whatever. You guys get what I'm saying. The Minnesota Vikings making it look more and more realistic with each passing week. 27-24 victory against the Seattle Seahawks yesterday, 13-2. And you guys, they have an opportunity to claim that number one title. We'll get into all that. As always, I'm Jessi Pierce. He's Myles Gorman. Over here, we got AJ Fredrickson doing his best impression of Ross, who's probably busy watching The Price is Right or some old man type of thing that he likes to do. Or
He's
complain
making
about
a Reba. It's weird.
Yeah, it's true.
And he's probably shirtless too. That's definitely
shirtless.
Yeah. I'm keeping my shirt on though for this, so just don't get too excited.
Young. The show is young. It's fine. It's fine. Gents, chance at the NFC North title after Washington defeats the Philadelphia Eagles. Chance at the number one overall, with just the Packers on Sunday and your good old Detroit Lions January 5th. How much do you want it? Because, all right, I go back to the beginning of the year, and I've always held myself accountable. I did not think this Minnesota Vikings team was going to be good.
You didn't.
Right?
You talked so much smack.
Yes, I did, and that's fine. I've owned up to that. I will take responsibility for my my negative approach, if you will, which was also realistic, I think, at the time, given the situation.
It was.
But neither here nor there. Now that we're at this point, I want number one overall. I want it. Now I'm going to be mad if we don't get it, which is so silly because it's a complete 180. But that's what I want. Myles, we'll start with you, and then AJ, let's get your take. What do you think? What are the chances? Again, not exactly an easy situation. You got the Packers at home, but then you're on the road in Detroit.
It makes it exciting. This is what you want as a football fan, as a Vikings fan. You want your team to be playing meaningful games in December and January, and hopefully, knock on wood, in February, right? This is what we want. So going into the season, expectations were pretty low because all the different changes, your quarterback change, not knowing exactly what you're going to get out of Sam Darnold. I think we expected some highs, but I think we expected probably more lows than what we've seen, right? He's tied or broke the record for most 100 passer rating? Mm-hmm. He's got 12 games of over 100 passer rating, and I think that's either the record or tied it. I can't remember. One of the two. Either way, we didn't expect that good of Sam Darnold, right? We expected good, but I don't think we expected this much of a good season from him, and that's changed, obviously, expectations. Now we're at a point, it's like, no, I want that number one, like you're saying, Jessi. It's no longer like, that'd be great if we could get into the playoffs. It'd be great if we could do this. No, I want the division. I want that first round. I want that first round bye. I want that first round seed, that first seed. I want that Super Bowl, right? All those things. It changes all of your expectations going in. I no longer am just okay with being okay, right?
Yeah.
It's because the team changed the expectations, and that's a good thing. That's fun as a fan. I love going into a season where you're kind of like, oh man, let's have fun. It's a kind of a rebuildy, retooly season. No. We're in December. It's almost Christmas. I want that one seed. I want all of it. So give me all the smoke. Go take down the Packers. Go take down the Lions. And take it over. So
not to mention, I need the victory over the Packers every year. 100%, right? 100%. That's something I need regardless. But yes,
get my broom out.
I love it. Age, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you, Myles. I mean, to go from this is a rebuilding year. If they can get 6, 7, 8 wins, hey, it wasn't a full on disaster, but now I think it shows the bar has been raised because when they squeak out a 3-point win or they have to a comeback win against whoever, it's that's unacceptable. I think that shows just how good the team actually is, and maybe the belief and the whole Minnesota sports narrative maybe is being pushed to the side to recognize a good football team. They're a good football team. And now that you have a chance to lock up that number one spot in the NFC, you're kind of controlling your own destiny. 2 very fierce opponents here the final 2 weeks. The NFL script writers couldn't have gotten it any better. That final week is set up to be a movie in Detroit. But I mean, to have home field advantage for the playoffs, in this time of the year, the winter, you're going to be in a dome. That is massive for Brian Flores and the defense. Sam Darnold not having to worry about that, especially Will Reichard. It would only be fitting that it's a kicker that somehow saves and breaks any sort of Minnesota football curse. So taking the wind and everything out of that is perfect. So I know diehard old head football guys are but the elements. You got to battle the wind and the cold. It's like, no, I'm a little fragile boy. I want to be inside. I don't want the wind.
I don't want the weather to impact the game.
No, exactly. I want the
Yes.
better team to put their foot down on the other team's throat and show that they're the better team on the field, not because, Aaron Jones slipped rounding the corner to get to the outside and can't pick up the first down. So,
and we saw yesterday, but like the Vikings offense is not predicated on being like a smash mouth, run that football type, which of the teams that want to be in that type of weather, because you want to ground and pound, you want to like destroy your opponents. No, we're more of a finesse offense, right? Mm-hmm. We're a throw the ball around the yard, get guys explosive plays. That's harder to do in cold weather. Mm-hmm. And so to your point, let's just take that out of it. Let's keep that, let's keep this the track going inside. So I'm with you on that.
We're a highlight reel team. I like that.
Yes, exactly.
Right? That's kind of what it
Greatest show on turf.
Yes, we love it. It does worry me that it just means we're going to be really, really hurt when in some situation, right? Like everybody, like I'll hop on different radio shows and discuss mostly hockey, right? But they see the Vikings pennant in the back and they have to talk about the Vikings. We're talking even up in Canada. The Vikings have taken hold of the fandom up there and they're always like, gosh, this must feel so great. I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm a Minnesota fan. I'm just waiting. I'm still waiting for the pain. Like I can't just accept the good, but there's plenty of good still. I'm trying to. The Vikings, you guys have already exceeded their Vegas preseason win total by 6.5. That is tied for the second best differential among 1,711 teams through 15 games since 1989, according to Pro Football Reference. And it's drawing comparisons to Kurt Warner in 1999 and the St. Louis Rams. Guys, what happened that year? Do we recall? Did the St. Louis Rams win the Super Bowl behind Kurt Warner?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, they did.
Heartbreaking Tennessee Titan fan fashion.
Yeah,
I remember I was rooting for the Titans that game too. I remember that.
You said in 1999. I was 2, so I have no idea.
Wow.
Oh, baby AJ. I didn't even realize we had baby AJ on the show.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So give me a history lesson. What happened?
I don't know. I just know the Rams won and Kurt Warner won, and he should have won. Is all I got. That's the research I did.
Kevin Dyson was trying to stretch for the game-winning touchdown, and he came up a yard short.
Oh, okay.
You've probably seen it. You've probably seen it in
Yes.
But yeah, it was one of those situations. Steve McNair was the quarterback for the Titans. Eddie George, they had Derek Mason, Kevin Dyson, all these guys. They were a really good Tennessee Titans team. But the Rams were just like Marshall Faulk, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce. They were just like the Kurt Warner, right? The greatest show on turf. It was a lot of fun, but it was an indoors. That fast track. A lot of guys throwing the ball over the yard. It was a really entertaining, fun game. I was like 10 years old at the time, so it's not like I was like super old, but definitely one of those like memories that I remember because it was a really fun game and exciting end too.
For sure.
I think my dad stopped watching football after '98 for like a year. He just took a year off.
Totally fair because I cried my eyes out that game.
Yeah,
so.
like that sounds probably about what happened.
AJ cried too, but not for those same reasons.
No,
yeah, I didn't get my nap in time. Yeah, absolutely.
No, but again, we talk about him every week. Sam Darnold, he has to start garnering some of those MVP votes without question. I mean, his stats from Sunday alone, 22 of 25, 3 touchdowns, 246 yards passing. He delivers that 39-yarder to Jefferson for the eventual win. Yes, what?
22 for 35. I was like, wait a minute. Did he really only have, you said 25.
Okay.
It's okay. I just was like, did
I
he
typed
really
in the wrong number.
Did he really only have 3 incompletions? Because I just had to go double check. That's why I was like, wait a minute. There's a huge. He still played great, so I'm not trying to downplay that.
You are. No, why do you hate Sam Darnold, Miles? Like, that's not very nice.
It's a narrative
I was just trying to give him a better stat line.
So you're the one that wanted them to keep Kirk Cousins. Got it.
How dare you? How dare you, AJ? Because if anybody knows anything about me, that is the complete opposite.
That situation, I can't help but laugh at. I just can't help but cackle at. My goodness. But we don't need to go there. It's fine.
We can, but we can.
His face. It's
I would.
just his face. It's his face.
But here's the one thing I will say about that real quick is the people that say this team would be as good if Kirk Cousins was the quarterback. No. There's just no way.
No.
You see some of the throws Sam Darnold makes. Kirk doesn't have the mobility or the arm strength to make some of these throws, and he probably isn't daring himself to make some of these throws. And coming off that Achilles injury, there's just no way. And you could see it in Atlanta and what happened in Atlanta. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm like Sam Darnold has become a better player than Kirk Cousins. Point blank. Period.
That's all. And he's continuing to show that he can be that starting quarterback. We've seen some inconsistencies, right? Some question marks, which aren't necessarily all Sam Darnold's fault either. I mean, there's plenty of other things that you can point to in factors, but right now, Sam Darnold, he's going to get paid, right? He's going to get looks. And we talked about it last week, and I hate to keep bringing up, do you bring him back? If he wins you a Super Bowl, you have to bring him back, right? Like, what's your guys' line on Darnold, knowing the future with JJ McCarthy, to be clear, not Jefferson? What do you guys do? The conversation to me just has to keep being had, because what do you do? Let's start with AJ.
You write it. You put real quick. You put a blank check on Sam Darnold's statue outside of US Bank Stadium and say, "Please come back." If they win a Super Bowl, I don't care what they do at that.
Does it have to be a Super Bowl though? Like, you wouldn't consider bringing him back if they go to the NFC title game? Like, what's your
go ahead, AJ. Go ahead, AJ. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. I would say I've already kind of just like lived with the fact that I don't think he's coming back no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they win a Super Bowl, if he wins a Super Bowl MVP, it's like, okay, you need to be smart about it. Because if you look at how good the team is this year, it's because they were able to go and get a Jonathan Grenard, a Blake Cashman, an Andrew Van Ginkel, an Aaron Jones. And that money, if you push it all in on one guy, those guys vanish. Like it's like Thanos snapping. They just kind of disappear into ash, and all of a sudden you have a shell of that team of what we're seeing now. I think I have more faith in Kevin O'Connell to take a young JJ McCarthy, and even if needed, a Daniel Jones, if he does come back on like a backup role next year. It's weird to say because we don't know exactly what JJ McCarthy is. We saw a preseason game or two of what he can potentially be. But I think with the
no offense, we've seen busts in the first round quarterbacks aplenty in this league. So let's keep that in mind as well, right?
But I don't think a lot of those times those busts are. I mean, look at Sam Darnold. He was a bust, but now that he is in a situation where you have like an All-Pro, Pro Bowl, probably future Hall of Fame wide receiver with a very, very good secondary wide receiver and an All-Pro tight end, and now you have I wouldn't say he's elite anymore, but a very, very good running back in Aaron Jones. The O-line has been very sufficient. Like, putting him in that sort of situation is going to set him up for success. So I think you have a conversation. I think you're exactly right, Jessi. Like, you do have a conversation about it, because I think you'd be stupid not to entertain that if he brings you to the promised land or even close to it. But you got to be smart about what that final number would be, because you don't want to handicap yourself for next season.
Miles, anything to add?
AJ put it up perfectly.
No notes?
No notes. I will say, like, obviously if you win a Super Bowl, the one thing is, like, it'd be hard to just say bye to Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
But I'm also in the camp, like, if you needed to, like, he's gotten to a point, and at that point too, where you'd franchise tag him and maybe then weigh your options, right? Mm-hmm. Whether you just like take on him for one more year as under the franchise tag, or you consider trading him. I think there's that. It's becoming that possibility. For the longest, earlier in the season, I was like, no way, that's too much. Like, I just don't think he's going to garner that much money. If they continue down this path and they go deep in the playoffs, like it's very realistic that a $42 million franchise tag is worth taking that on for 1 year just to kind of see whether you can get a strong pick back in a trade, or you have him for another year as a bridge. So there's a lot. Sam Darnold's created more opportunity for the Vikings than you probably ever would have expected going into the season. So that's a positive. I think all good things, no matter what happens, they've put themselves into a way better situation than they would have if they had brought back Redacted.
Redacted. Wow, I love that. That is okay. It's like you can't say Lord Voldemort's name. It's
That's what I was going for.
Sorry.
We don't say his name. Yeah.
Aggressive.
He who shall not be named.
Who shall not be named. Brilliant. Absolutely. Brilliant. My one request, if you do bring back Danny Dimes, he's required to have a beard. Again, I just would like to keep that situation going for my own personal. Yeah.
You think JJ McCarthy can grow a beard?
I said Daniel Jones needs to have a beard. I don't care
if
that's not what Daniel Jones is more appeasing on the eyes for a Sunday football game.
I see. Okay, I thought you were just saying like it's like a requirement from your quarterbacks. I got you.
That's just him particularly. JJ, I could take or leave. I'm sure. I don't know. He doesn't strike me as a beard man.
So you're saying the starting QB can look however they want, but if you want to be in the backup role, you need to be visually appeasing.
If you're going to be on my team on the sideline and they're just going to randomly pan to you, like, give me something to look out.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Makes
Sorry.
sense.
Face. Fair. All right. Guys can make their choices on the sideline reporters. I can make my choices on the backup quarterbacks. All right.
Hey, no argument.
Purely thing. Speaking of making choices, you know what? I'm going to make a choice to call Nicolay Law should I absolutely need to. A quick shout out to the exclusive personal injury law firm of Purple Daily, Nicolay Law. Nicolay Law knows that when you or a loved one gets injured, ordinary life can come to a stop and things can get complicated. That's where the folks at Nicolay Law come in. They're just your normal, everyday folks, the ones you see at the gas station, walking the dog, or at your local watering hole. Normal, everyday folks who are here to make sure you get the compensation you deserve after an accident. So, if you've been injured, get Minnesota's local award-winning injury lawyers. Get Nicolay. Start your path to winning at nicolaylaw.com or give them a call at 1-855-NICOLAY. That's Nicolay Law.
Do you have him on speed dial with that sled company that you fell off of the other day too?
You know what? That was a terrible idea. It was a terrible idea.
Did you get in a sledding accident yesterday?
Well, I mean, I kind of did it on purpose. I thought I was like 12 again and was like, you know what? I'm going to surf down this hill. Forgetting it was a very, very quick run. I felt good to start off, right? I was a snowboarder. I've dabbled in snowboarding before. And yeah, pushing 40, not great. Would have really been a severe back injury. We got out of there alive, though. That's all that mattered. The 3-year-old did not. She smoked her face into a tree, so that was good. She was fine. Put a little snow in it. I felt terrible because the moms around me on the hill were like, and they're like rushing, and I just sauntered down. I'm like, she's fine. Like, she'll be all right. She's not screaming. She's got a little blood in her mouth. It was cool. We survived. Sledding, man. Hazardous out there. It's hazardous. Let's get to some comments from YouTube.
Comments from YouTube.
All right, so the first one here comes from Ryan Thomas. He says the Vikings will dismantle the Packers next week. Book it, 31-17. But I'm going to pose the question to both of you. Jessi, will lead with you. What's your prediction for next Sunday against the mighty Green Bay Packers?
I don't know, 40-7. I'm leading with my heart. I watched the Aaron Rodgers Enigma this week too, so I think I just have an extra.
Why?
Because it's a sports documentary. I will watch every sports documentary that comes my way, right? Like, I don't even care if I have any interest at all. It could be in wrestling. It could be like everything. I eat it up. I just need to learn more. The amount of highlights against the little one.
It's a family show.
It's a family show. We love it. Get a little school going. No, I can admire and respect the way that he just does what he wants to in a respect, right? But I don't know. It was worth a watch. I didn't hate it. But anyway, that being said, they're going to destroy the Packers just because I like to. That's not logic. It's not at all looking at any stats or the difficulty that the Packers will be. It's just in general. We got two now. See? We got two fans who probably agree with me, which is, fair. They lead with their hearts. There's never logic in a child. Do we think the Vikings are going to win, guys?
Hey, do you guys think the Vikings are going to win? Go purple team, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do this. Yeah. Hey, come over here and do that.
Score. Woo! See?
There you go.
Best show of the year, guys.
Yeah.
I love it.
As you can tell, my kids are home this week, so.
Yeah, we pushed one out the door, the other one's downstairs, and the other one's playing on a tablet. So I've survived this. Age, you got a dog roaming around or anything?
Yeah, she's sleeping.
See? There you go. Oh. Nice. Happy holiday week, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
No, so I'm going dismantle. Let's dismantle all we want. What do you think, Age or Miles? Both.
Yeah, let's go, Miles. Well,
I'm talking to them for the podcast. She goes, "Why are you talking to them?"
Just some weirdos on a computer.
I think the game will be closer than that, just for the simple fact that the Vikings have been playing really close games.
Yeah.
And they've just decided that these last handful of weeks they need to play one-score games, and so I feel like it's going to be a one-score game. Now I think the Vikings being at home is a big part of this. It's a huge, but they do get the Packers who played well. We'll see how they do tonight. The Packers play on Monday night, but we'll see how they come out of it if they're healthy or hurt. But last time they played Jordan Love, he was just coming off of injury, so I think they're going to get more of a healthy. Jordan Love's a little bit more of a true test. But I'm excited for it. I think they're gonna come out swinging. I think we're finally gonna get Aaron Jones that touchdown he tried to get a couple weeks ago, or that first game, but without force feeding it. And I just think there's opportunity here where the Vikings know what they're playing for, and I think it's a little different. Green Bay, I think, has known they're probably just playing for the wild card. So there's a little bit of a different, what's at stake, and I think the Vikings are going to come and show out, and that's what they've done. They've showed out and shown up in these big moments. So I think they're going to win, but I think it's going to be closer to like a 24-21 type of game, rather than a ass beating that we had last time.
The heart wants what it wants. That's the only reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not logic. It's love. It's what
exactly.
It is. And a bank vault from Aaron Jones, right? Isn't that what he calls it?
Yeah. I want to ask you about it. Do you like that? Because
I love it. I love it.
You do. There's just so many like bank sponsored stadiums in the league. I feel like coining that as just the Minnesota one is weird, but maybe it's player specific. I have no idea.
I think it's because it's the first I'd really heard or considered it. Like I love little creativity. Like like I've always said that too. If you're gonna insult me, at least be creative. Like I'll respect that. I'll respect the hell out of it. I love it. Like anytime you can really use your brain. Yeah, I dig it.
All right.
It's a cheap shot at the Packers too. So
yeah, I'm sure it makes them mad. So that's fine with me.
Yes, I love it.
I think I'm with Miles here. I think it's gonna be super close, but I'm expecting more points. I'll go with like 38 or 31-28, like last second field goal, something like that. Defense at times. I mean, look at end of the first half yesterday. Like the defense looked a little suspect. Now, granted, maybe that was just kind of breakdowns here and there. I know they were missing Harrison Smith. Hopefully they get him back next weekend, but I mean, the Packers, they're not going to want to get swept by the Vikings in a season. They're still going to be fighting for like playoff positioning for them and just getting in. So we'll see what they do tonight, but I think it'll be closer than the dismantling, Jessi, that you said.
Yeah, what I said, 40. No, we're going 40s. I want 40.
Like a 30-something point win. Yeah.
Oh, God,
yeah. So I'll say 31-28, but I would love Jesse's outcome for sure.
Thank you.
All right, next one comes from Storm Falcon 657 on YouTube. He says, as the Vikings fans, we need to start pushing KOC for Coach of the Year. If he doesn't win this season, it's rigged. Let me ask you this, though. At this point, with the record, given the preseason expectations, if it's not Kevin O'Connell, who would it be? I'm not sure I have a name. Do you guys have a name for like Coach of the Year that could potentially or dethrone Kevin O'Connell?
No, I mean, it's got to be a landslide, right? Like, I can't imagine with what he's done. And like you said, it's the expectations. It's the fact that the Vikings have exceeded and overachieved. And the fact that Kevin O'Connell, as we've long dubbed the quarterback whisperer, is able to transform Sam Darnold into what he's become this year in order to achieve this success. So I would be shocked. I hate always saying it's rigged, right? I hate any of that, but it's gotta be like you'd be stupid to not have Kevin O'Connell be your victor in that. I literally have no other names. None.
The only other name to me is Dan Campbell. I feel
but
like
you expected the Lions to be good, right?
No, yeah, and I'm not saying he should be over Kevin O'Connell. I'm saying if for some reason it wasn't Kevin O'Connell, to me it'd be Dan Campbell. Mm-hmm. And then Andy Reid, like I don't think that Chiefs team is as good as we've seen, but they're 14-1, 50.
Because the Chiefs always win. They gotta win.
No, yeah. But like we've talked about that before, is like you get punished for always being good. I didn't know that was that shouldn't be viewed as a problem, and why you shouldn't get awards. But those are the only other two names I could think of. Like even like a Mike Tomlin though, just because their expectations, bring in Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, they've somehow got to double-digit wins. Those are probably the only other names I could like consider. But it's Kevin O'Connell, and then it's everybody else for me. Yeah. And I try not to be homer about this stuff, but he got robbed in 2022. But he shouldn't get robbed this year. They're definitely overexceeding any sort of expectation. So it should be Kevin O'Connell.
All right. Last one here comes from Devin Vestal, who says, Dallas Turner feels like an awesome, unexpected cameo in a movie at this point. Comes in, gets a pick, leaves the film. Love this kid. So the question that we'll starting with Miles here is, if this Minnesota Vikings team was a superhero movie, what superhero would like the Vikings represent, and who would the villain in that film be?
I was trying to think about this, and this is like a really hard one. And I like superhero movies. I like Marvel and all that stuff.
Okay.
Maybe like a Spider-Man type movie, like where the villain is, whether it's like Dr. Octavius or even like who am
Big
I thinking
Wheel?
of? Yeah. Something like that, right?
Just a deep cut.
Deep cut. But like we're like
Predator?
Oh yeah, there you go.
I really love those new Spider-Man movies, guys. Like,
me too.
I allow my kids. They're so good. They're so
The
good.
Tom Holland ones?
The ones, no, not the real ones.
Miles Morales?
Cartoon ones. Miles Morales ones. They're the
best animated movies of all time. In my opinion.
They're so good. Yes.
But so I'll give you that too. I would even say like we're kind of like that Miles Morales, and our villain is whether it's Spot, who feels inevitable.
Yeah.
Right, where you just feel like you're gonna hit that black hole at any point and just get like sucked in. I feel like that's a pretty good one. That's a good one, Jessi.
Thank you. I'm obsessed. I watched that movie far too much. I listened to the soundtrack.
I love those movies.
Sick soundtrack. I can't wait for the next one to find out what happens. Like, it's so good. It's just
there's some controversy going on there, but
why?
Yeah, there is.
Is there? See,
it's some off-film
main character stuff.
Oh no.
Hopefully it all ends up okay. But,
well, I need to find out what happens. They leave you on a damn
100%.
cliffhanger. I need to know what happens. No notes. That was really good. I like the Miles Morales because especially when he's like, I'm gonna do my own thing, and that's what the Vikings are saying. Like, we got Sam Darnold, we're gonna do our own thing. Dan Campbell looks like a bad guy. Like, he could be a bad guy, right? But like the bad guy you like. So in some respect, you're gonna put Dan Campbell as the villain.
Who's the like the giant suit guy from the very first one of those? Like the mobster guy. Mr. Big, is that his name, or is that Sex in the City that I'm thinking of?
That's Sex in the City. Is Mr. Big, who could also be viewed as a villain, technically, I guess. Ironically, I'm also rewatching that for some reason. Mr. Big, but we'll go with Mr. Big. I don't know names of stuff. My kids are kind of into like superhero things, but they even change all of them to make it kid friendly. Like Octavius is Doc Ock, and like I don't know.
Okay, quick impromptu before we get to the Before I Dies, but rank your live action Spider-Mans. Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield.
He's not even on, like,
Tobey
those
Maguire.
weren't my Tobey Maguire was my Spider-Man. He was the only Spider-Man I had, right? Like, we got into this with the Wild Locker Room one time, like who your Spider-Mans are and who your Batmans are, and like you very quickly, it was just an age gap.
Okay.
Like, it was just, that's all it was. Like,
but you and me are in a similar age, and
I've never seen the Andrew Garfield ones.
Oh, he's third. Like, he's on the bottom there. But it's, to me, I think Tom Holland has given Tobey Maguire a run for his money.
Tobey Maguire got bit by a spider. Me must have got bit by a goat.
I think for me though, it's just like I think Tom Holland has done a better job, probably because he looks it and is younger than Tobey Maguire looked. Like trying to play a high schooler, and like when you're in your 30s, it felt like so 90s, right? Like we saw all those movies in the 90s where you had to play teenagers in your 30s, but like Tom Holland looked and did a good job of like acting like he was younger and in high school. And so I think there's a little bit more of that like quote unquote realism to it. And I think Tom Holland just has done a really good job as playing Spider-Man. I just
have never seen any
what
of
he's supposed to embody. But I mean, I'm with you. Like Tobey Maguire is a first for me. So it's hard to like go away from that. Same with Batman. Like it's like Michael Keaton or Christian Bale are like the two. Otherwise it's like you can kind of leave them.
But it's Christian Bale.
Yeah,
which is funny because we grew up with Michael Keaton. Like Michael Keaton was the guy, but
it's because the movies were better. Like the Christian Bale movies were better. So
yeah, like The Dark Knight is like Heath Ledger is my Joker, not anybody.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Well, and the take on the joke, like Jack Nicholson did a very weird Joker, right? Like it was just a very different take. Who's yours than age? Is yours Tom Holland?
Oh no, he's second for me. Like charismatic, sure, but I don't know. I love even like the 30, 40-year-olds playing. It's like it's a Grease feel. Like Grease, he had like 50-year-olds playing high schoolers.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like I don't know. He's on a bus and there's a guy that clearly has like a 401k and a mortgage, like in the backseat. Like I've got science class. No, but just those movies. I would say Tobey Maguire is like that's my Spider-Man for sure.
If you guys haven't listened to Tobey Maguire by Eminem, I recommend it because it's something I listen to every day when I go to hockey because it's good. No, we're not Eminem fans. All right, moving on.
No, I didn't know that was a song.
Oh yeah, I listen to it every morning. It's really good, and he has that line. He goes, "Tobey Maguire got bit by a spider. Me must have got bit by a goat." Okay. Right, you get it because he's the best. I love him. All right, it's a good transition to Before I Die. It's holiday week. My brain is not even here, so. Let's hit some Before I Dies.
Time now for the Before I Die crew to give us their Before I Dies.
Age, in case you didn't know, this is Miles' favorite segment of the entire show, so I know he's super thrilled to go first this week.
I knew you were gonna make me go first too, so I've been
We
thinking
gotta
about
get
this.
big respect to AJ who's jumping in. You know?
Yeah, no, yeah.
I gotta at least see one, maybe both you go before I go, so I can get a feel of what this segment is.
Mine's pretty weak this week. I feel like I had a pretty good one last week. Mine's pretty weak this week, as my wife in the background's trying to. So we got a new sink a few weeks ago now. We put in a new kitchen sink. The box has been in my office here for those weeks because my kids have decided that they want to color and use it and play in it because they care more about that than they do actual toys. They call it the van. So my wife's trying to bring the van downstairs into the basement. So that's what's happening in the background, as you could probably hear. My before I die, I'm gonna keep it football related.
Ooh,
I know I normally don't. I just want more Justin Jefferson. Like, yesterday was like vintage Justin Jefferson, right? We've gotten some of these weeks where it's like Justin Jefferson's involved, but teams do a good job of taking him away. So we go to other people: Jordan Addison, T.J. Hockenson, Aaron Jones. No. This week was all Justin Jefferson, and I'm here for it. I want it. I want more. I want more. I want more. I want more. Like, for this holiday season, give me more Justin Jefferson, right? Okay. I just think like that play yesterday was insane. That throw by Sam Darnold to Justin Jefferson for that game-winning touchdown, like, I just need more of that, right? Like, even in the weather, that man came through. Like, it's hard to catch the ball when it's slick and rainy out. So I need people to understand, like, that's not an easy thing to do. And Jefferson makes it look so easy. And so I just need more of it, right? That's before I die, I just want more Justin Jefferson. And I want this happening in the playoffs. That's where I really want it, right? Like, we saw his first playoff run against the Giants in 2022 was evolved a little bit, but not as much as you'd like. The team did a good job of taking him away. I don't think we're going to see that this year. It's going to be harder to take Jefferson away this year because of all the weapons they have. Yeah. And I just want more Justin Jefferson. That's it at the end of the day.
Yeah, since I didn't make the fantasy football playoffs, that's fine with me. You don't need to get to Jordan Addison. Travis Kelce and I are in a huge rivalry, very heated. I still am very upset at him.
Just boycott Taylor Swift.
Which is fine with me too. I can do that. I don't have a problem with that. Like,
I was in 3 semifinals and I won 2 out of the 3, but the third I was going for a 3-peat in 1, and that's the one I lost. So I'm pretty upset.
The worst is that my husband is in the playoffs and he's probably going to the championship, so he just makes fun of me the entire time. He's like, it'd be great if our household had both made it, but nope, you had to go.
Right?
Like, he's not.
It's how I support my family, Jessi. Is I make money through fantasy football.
That's what he thinks too. Like, he thinks he's a real GM. He comes out wearing a suit on Sundays. He's like, all right, here's. I'm just kidding. He doesn't. Could you imagine?
I could. I actually could. I don't know your husband, but knowing you, I feel like I could imagine it. You know?
Yeah, it just really fits the role. Yeah. He takes it very seriously. There has been a lot of hard Sundays in this household, but that's fair. But yeah, I'm all for JJ eating more. Do you want me to go?
Speaking
of AJ,
yeah, take it away.
Come on. We'll get you there. We'll get you there.
Nothing. It's gonna be.
And you just gave me crap, by the way.
Yeah, I told you this week I'm checked out. You talked about it 2 weeks ago. Like, I'm checked out this week. Like, I have one hockey game tonight. And then I'm not talking hockey. I'm not watching hockey. I'm not doing anything sports, really, with the exception of some football. We're done. We're checking out. We're just going to be outside. We're going to drink. We're going to eat. We're going to have a good time. So that's key. Before I die, I'm going to get to the bottom of the very heated debate in our household. Does Santa wrap Christmas presents or does he not? I grew up in a household that was non-wrapped Santa presents, and you only had a couple. My husband grew up in a household where it was all wrapped and basically Santa brought everything, which I disagree with entirely because I bought these presents for some of them and I deserve the thank yous for that. So before I die, I will succumb to the balance that is Santa's Christmas presents are wrapped and some of them are not. Because like some of the big things I don't want to wrap because it's hard and it's lazy, but also like I think coming down the stairs or coming out of your room and just seeing the dollhouse or the cool thing unwrapped. That's just, what do you guys do?
I'm trying to remember here. Like, there was a few, like, it was like a 50-50 thing for me. Especially like in a hockey household growing up. It's like, okay, if you get a stick or a new bag or whatever, you're just going to slap a bow on it, say, here you go from Santa. Right?
Yeah.
But then it's like, you get like, Now You See Me on DVD. You might wrap that up.
Yeah, but you're saying that one's from Santa, then it can just be from.
Oh yeah, that one's from Santa. Okay. Sure, why not? I mean,
one gift is Santa gift.
Okay, I like this.
That's how I view it in my
household.
household.
Wrapped or not wrapped?
Always wrapped, but
See, that's weird to me that people are like, it's always wrapped, and they think I'm crazy for never wrapping.
Well, it's a present. I don't know. Like you open the present. Like
half the fun is the ripping stuff open.
But my rule in my house is, so I say this as someone that was really not well off growing up. Didn't have a lot of money. When you see like other kids get like Xboxes for Christmas from Santa, but then other kids are getting socks or a sweater, right? Yeah. I just always viewed it as like the big gift should be from the parents, the small gift should be from Santa, and it's like one gift so that like it doesn't. I don't know. I know it's hard to make everybody. Not everybody's going to agree with that.
Can't
everybody's
be an
going to do
even
this.
playing field. Yeah.
No, but at least in my household, I'm going to try to make it one so that like,
I like
in that capacity from Santa, because Santa's supposed to be for everybody. Yeah. So if someone's getting an Xbox from Santa and other kids getting socks, it's like, can we like try to at least get as a parenthood, like try to like even the playing field from Santa so it looks that way? I don't know, because Santa's real, right?
Yeah,
absolutely,
obviously. Like as long as you believe he comes. I will tell you one crazy and I will never. My brother and I talk about it every single year because I truly have no idea how this happened. We were probably 4th and 5th grade, so like old enough where we were kind of like wishy-washy on the whole thing anyway. And at my parents' house, we looked out, and I kid you not, there were sleigh tracks and reindeer hooves on the roofs all around in our neighborhood. And I'm like, no. And my parents swear by it. They're like, because they saw it too. They looked. We all stared and looked, like all of us neighbors. And they swear, they're like, no, we didn't do it. Because like, think of the dedication somebody had to like go and do that on our neighbors' roofs. And it was just, to this day, I'm still mind blown.
That's a coordinated effort by your parents' neighbors.
Right?
Coordinated effort for sure.
But there's no way. Like, how do you do that? It's not easy to get on the roof. There was a fresh layer of snow. I'm just saying. Maybe.
You're beginning to believe.
I love to believe. And also, Polar Express is a trash movie, and I will never watch that again before I die.
I don't disagree. I tried watching the other day with
my
kids.
The worst. I love the storyline. The movie is terrible. It is terrifying. I hate that Tom Hanks is everybody. I can't. What, you have a random hobo on top of the train? Like, no, thank you. Okay. We've had to watch it on repeat, and I can't do it anymore. It's terrible.
Okay, well, the next time you do watch it, keep an eye out for there's a scene when they're first showing up to like the North Pole, and the train's pulling in, and with all of these elves walking by, they forgot to animate one of the elves. It's just like gliding across the screen, just like
terrifying. Yeah, terrible animation. Anyways. It's just awful. Anyways, age.
Okay, so stop me if this is not the segment. I think I got it. Just kind of.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Do we never just rant about segment too? We just
I think I got it.
And you just throw in a before I die.
My before I die is getting it ingrained in people's heads that just because the temperature has dropped means you can just let your dog crap in a park and not pick it up.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
First off, we live next to a park, so there's like an open field and stuff. But I don't know who it is, and when I catch them, there's going to be hell to pay. But there is a neighbor that just refuses. They're like, "Oh, it's a park. I don't have to pick it up because I'm not going to sit here and like watch out the window, being like, the main guy in Rear Window. Great name drop there. But yeah, like my dog." Love her. She's a little Boston Terrier. Disgusting though, because if she is outside sniffing around, whether it's grass, whether it's like rabbit poop, she's gonna try to eat it.
Yep.
I don't want to have to like get down and like, what are you sniffing? What are we doing here? It's disgusting. Pick up after your dog. I don't care if it's below 0. Just take a bag with you. It takes 2 seconds. Just reach down, grab it. Plus, in the cold, it's not gonna smell as bad. Just it's even better.
It's also easier to pick up from the snow.
Yes, exactly, because you're gonna have that kind of like snow barrier.
Yes.
Yeah,
yep.
That's my biggest thing. That's my before I die.
That's a really good one.
Let's just pick up our dog's crap. Be responsible human beings. Be an adult.
Yeah, that's a good one. I can't like even like. I always try to bring a whole bunch of bags with me or like a roll of them, because I don't want to ever be that person. Because I see people do it all the time, and you're like, come on, man, like be better.
And the thing is, I go out there, I get like. Because you don't know, like sometimes you look out the window at people and you're like, oh, they don't know that I'm watching them. That's just like a normal thing, but you're not going to like stare and whatever. There's houses all along the street. Like it's 10 to 20 houses that I think could be viewing you at any given time. I feel like like when she doesn't want to budge, I feel terrible because I don't want to like pull her. I look like a bad dog dog owner there. So it's like, no, Daisy, come on, just please move. You've sniffed the same
And then
spot.
people think it's your dog's poop.
Exactly.
And then you get viewed as the bad guy.
Exactly. I have to I over accentuate, like, okay, I'm pulling my bag out, everybody. I have one.
I have a poop bag.
I have it. It's not me. It's somebody else. It's Linda down the block. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for the investigative report update because I feel like now you're gonna get
we
up.
definitely need it.
So good. So good. Send it in.
That's a good one. That's a very Ross-esque one too, by the way.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Just
all right. Well, I'm glad I could fill
Yeah,
Ross's role a little
cover.
bit here today. So
Yeah. Love it. That's gonna do it. Are you guys watching bowl games? We're feeling good about bowl games since I have to bring that up one more time.
what's the Pop-Tart Bowl?
Oh, that's all that matters. Pop-Tart Bowl.
You guys in the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Pop-Tart Bowl 28th.
If your bowl trophy is like able to double as a toaster, you win. You win.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, again, the problem is Pop-Tarts overshadow that my Iowa State Cyclones are playing in it, right? Like, 'cause nobody knows which teams are playing in it. They just know it's the Pop-Tart Bowl. But they are. The Iowa State Cyclones, that's who we're all rooting for. F Miami. Go State.
Which Miami? Ohio or
no Miami?
That's
real Miami. It's a real bowl game.
Question.
It's a real bowl game.
I love that
Excuse me.
disrespectful question.
That
by the
was
way.
so disrespectful. Okay, that's gonna do it. AJ's never allowed back on Purple
right.
Daily. I can't wait to talk to you in a couple hours on Jed's Hockey.
Miami,
Page.
Ohio.
Yeah. Have a good one, school.